Close the door.
A huge shout out to the overthinkers. An overthinker, he watches the show. To the overthinkers, shout out my Vert too. All of our faith to this park here. Thank you, overthinkers.
Keep inspiring the next generation.
Shout out to the overthinkers. Much love.
To my overthinkers, mamelo chopho ngeke yakhula nizinja ni as overthink siya overachieve.
I'm stealing that. I've stolen that one. I've stolen it.
I record shorty. As overthinking, say our overachiever. Welcome everybody to the Overthinking Football Show. My name is Mokwena. I am your host, and this is a place where we absolutely love South African football. We love African football, and every now and then we dip our toes over into Europe. But for the most part, we are focused on the local game. And it is a Monday show. So Monday shows are review shows where you get to jump in, very interactive show. You get to jump in, you get to speak to me, and you get to tell me what you think about the things that have happened. There's going to be 4 panels of 5 people speaking tonight. So feel free to join any one of those panels. And if you do want to join any of those panels, you have to follow me live now while I'm live here on TikTok, and then click on the multi-guest button, bottom of the screen. But you have to be following me. I let you in, you get to speak to me, I give you your 5 minutes. Everybody's going to get 5 minutes. I'm going to ask you to just give me a quick idea of what you're speaking about, and then we're going to go. I may ask you a question or two about whatever it is you were saying. So that is how this whole process works. Monday review show. Guys, the show is on every Monday to Thursday at 7 p.m. unless Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns, Bafana, Bafana are playing. If those guys are playing, we are going to be watching them live. So Wednesday, we're going to watch the Sundowns game. Thursday, I believe, we're going to watch the Pirates game. If they're not postponed, I'll just check. But that is how it is. That is what the show is. If you want to watch any of the previous episodes, they are available in full on YouTube. And I also dropped my own content on YouTube. I dropped the good and the bad, a review show of mine for what Ahly and Pirates, that Ahly and Pirates game was, and I'll drop the others tomorrow. But please support, share, like, do all of those things. Okay, so it is a review show. And out of respect, I'm going to be respectful. I'm going to be respectful to the teams that are taking part in African competition. And I'm going to start us off with Kaizer Chiefs. So we're going to start off with Kaizer Chiefs, who played East Kukune. So if you want to tell me your thoughts about the Kaizer Chiefs game, we're going to go Chiefs, Pirates, Sundowns. If you want to Jump in and give me your thoughts. Feel free to press the request button right now. I'll let you in and you can have a conversation with me. Chiefs played is Kukune United. Kukune, of course, was number 4 coming into that game. They had won 4 of their last 5 games and drawn 1. So this was an unbeaten Kukune team that was on a roll. Kaizer Chiefs, of course, having lost their last game, had to come out and do something in this game. But we were without coach Unezruddin Nabi, who was up in the stands. Abugele from the stands because he was kicked out. The stats are as follows. Obviously, Chiefs won the game 1-0. 17 shots from Kaizer Chiefs, 7 on target. 11 shots from Supersport United, 2 on target. From Kukune, 2 on target. 64% possession for Kaizer Chiefs. But the interesting part is that Chiefs created 2 big chances and they missed 2 big chances, whereas Kukune did not do anything on the attacking front in terms of actual big chances that they got. So we're going to go Chiefs, we're going to go Pirates. We're going to end off with Mamelodi Sundowns. Then in the time that we have at the end of the show, I will open it up to allow everybody to come in and just give me a little bit of their thoughts as to what they think. Whatever you want to speak about, you can jump in and we can have a conversation about whatever it is. But remember, everybody gets 5 minutes. Please, please, please respect the other people on the panel if you do want to jump in. So let's jump straight into it. Ongama, welcome to the show. How are you?
How are you, T?
Hi, man, I'm good. I'm good,
was.
man. Hey, what a weekend, man. Hey, I'm so glad we got 3 points because if we didn't. But anyway, Ongama, tell me about this game. What did you think of Kaizer Chiefs versus Kukune?
We played an entertaining game. I would say it was a little bit of progression of a ball, and then we played a game that was appealing. It was a game that was, I think it was a normal game. It was a normal game. We didn't lose much of the ball. We hold much of the ball. That was one thing that I wanted to see in our game. But we're still lacking some element in our game when I would see
Yeah.
an element of thinking, of making that. There's that element that I feel like we still a spark in our midfielder that says, I will surprise you with this element and I will score a goal. You see, we're still lacking that element, but I think as the time goes on, when players get confidence, when we're winning some of the games, I saw an element even in Yusuf Mart trying to shoot from a long range. I've seen Yusuf Mart when he was coming from Sekukone, was a player that was scoring from long range.
Yeah.
So I think when the team starts to do well, a lot of players will gain confidence to believe in themselves and do better as the time goes on. So when I was looking at that game, the game plan was to play a 4-1-4-1, playing Zduba as the front line and also playing wingers, not much as going forward, but making sure that they help in terms of defending and also moments of making sure that they go forward. The only person that was pressing up high, it was Wandile Duba. Then I think the game plan was successfully. I think another thing that helped the team was the coach being upstairs there, seeing the game overall on top, not seeing the game in the stands there, to just standing there, not seeing everything. But if you see everything, you obviously see the movements of the opposition. You know that if I tell the coaches down there, if you put someone like this and this and this is what can impact into the game. I think that's another thing that helped us.
Can I just jump in? I want to ask you. You spoke about the players. I mean, we saw Modi, we saw Potsane, we saw Zwane, we saw Mato. We saw some changes, right, in that starting lineup. Some of them obviously enforced by injuries. Do you think that maybe one of the mistakes that Coach Nabe has made up to this point was not trying those players and putting them in? I know Abomatlo only just came back, but it seems as though, man, we're starting to see that there are other players that can do different things in this team.
It was a matter of situation when I OT, ne? We can't say he didn't want to try other things because there were no options at that time.
Okay.
There were no players at his disposal at that time. He tried at the start of the season, he tried players like Abo Zwane and other players. Most of the players, I think the overall squad, there's no player in Kaizer Chiefs that didn't play this season. So he tried everything at his disposal. But at this moment, I think the injury, the injury of Shabalala, if he's injured, because I heard that there was a little bit of a hamstring, maybe he will recover as soon as possible. The injury of Shabalala gave the players like Abu Matlo, because they were coming back from injury slowly to get in, even in match fitness. I think the injury of Shabalala gave other players an opportunity to express themselves and give themselves the maximum time to the game. I've seen, but I'm still concerned when I would see, we still need players. I don't wanna shy away from those things. We still need players, OT. There are still areas that I feel like we still need to enforce, because when I see those areas, I feel like we are lacking a lot, OT, because there is a lot in our team need to be improved. Not because we won, and even if we won the second games, but in games like Pirates, they will expose a lot of things. Even in a left back position, you'll see like cross will be exposed. Even a right back position, the right back position will be exposed. Even a central midfielder position, some position will be exposed in big games. So we need to not shy away because we won the game. We need to say, yes, we won, but those positions need to be enforced as much as possible. This is my input, OT.
For time's sake, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Prati. Prati! 3 points ilendile, Prati.
Abuile makhozi bafana ba se naturena bra o tire re ke le se go senya nako man ke thabela 3 points haholo ha re khonne go wina game ele, even though hara dlala the way batho ba bangwe ba expectile gore re dlale ka teng, but at least sengonyana re jule ka shone, at least mo awana mo middle field mo le ne ke itumeletse go bona Matlou, ke itumeletse go bona ba re ke ma
Zwane.
ke itumeletse Zwane le Mthethwa, ke like ba re file ntho ile gore khale re tlhoka o bona sometimes ne team e tlhoka engine mo middle fielding, gore tlhoka gore ba pale mo middle fielding gore maybe re khone go create di chances. O bone di chances tse ne re di creator first half, it was better than tse ne re di creator second half. Ba setse ba ntshitse bo matho ba ntshitse bo Zwane ba ntshitse bo Matlou, but ke itumetse go bona lale ke utlwe ba re ke Mambong se maabane a bua ntho e botlhokwa gore maabane cross o tla le bontle ke dumalana le ene cross maabane go bua nnete hai ke itumeletse the way na ba pala ka teng ana re safe ka teng ai go morago kwa ne re le monata bona re ka tswalla ka seemo se go go pela, at least sengonyana di 3 points re ka etsa, ene ke ka thaba ha ba ka tsaya yone team e go starta Sunday bra OT.
Okay. Ma Prati, kupa go botsa man. A lot of these players ke kgale ba le ko Chiefs. Bo Zwane bana ba teng le bo Modi le bo Potsane ba le teng. Is it maybe taba hore team ya rona a re so ba dadisi ba bang, and now we are seeing ora man, maybe we don't need to go and get that many players, maybe ba teng batho ka moha.
Nna go bua nna go ya ka nna ke nagana gore re sa tlhoka di player because of di player tse di go Chiefs bontsi ba bone ke di injury prone, my bro. Yes, we still re tlhoka di player and re tlhoka di big names, like re tlhoka go a bona individually go na le player tse le gore ha le go rapalela re tlhoka that player, special player o le gore o tla tlhagalela maybe a re direla sengwe out of blue yaka ntwane ya re diretse maabane vilakazi wa bona gore o tlhagile fela a tsena ene o tryile first ya goalkeeper ya tshwara wa bona a feta mo gare ga defender tse 2 goalkeeper ya tshwara a leka gape la bo 2 a ekora so re tlhoka that special player like wa bona Sirunono o go betse so at least ya ba ka tsama ba go tsa bo a policy kwa at least sengonyana maybe mara re tlhoka that special player ba ba kgona go create ene ba ba kgona go etsa gore team e tla le bravo team
kopa ka nako e setseng Prati mpolelle ka the youth man ka re team ya rona is being carried by these youngsters man bomdu bo mfundo o reng ka bona
bo shabalala ke nnete ke bone ba tshwereng team ke nagana gore this youngsters sha ke tsebe gore ka ba tlhoka hela wa bona surrounding e ke tlhokang ka yone ke re ba tlhoka di special player ba tlhoka surrounding e ba ka etang gore ha go le so ke nagana go bua nnete bravo team ya rona ena le future la ba ka ba kireila di right players di players tse le gore go morago kwa ha ba dire diphoso a bona di defender tse le gore ha ba dire diphoso ba kgona go ba guide that experience players not bo marate ke captain wa gore ba fana re marlene se ena palwa ke go se dira but ma ba nne ena ke batle go re o tsamkile ke nagana o itlia tsa manyana mo game ke khonne go bona na khona go dira diphasanyana ene le pass e vilakazi ana irizivile a bona ne tsoma go marate re batla we want more from him a se gore ha re mo gwella so because of marate o phela a thola di chance but ha di dirise but ma bane I was happy ka bonyane bo ba dirile ene le bafana ba go bua nnete brauti bafana ba go risa kgole ke la gore ba tlhoka a surrounding e ka ba guide brauti
okay no Prati thank you so much guys kubari gift mo thank you Korani thank you David question for the comments was it Chiefs being very good or was it Kukure not showing up? Let me go to Butlali, welcome to the show. How are you?
Kamba Noti.
Man Butlali. How did you feel about game here, Chiefs and Skukune?
I don't think Skukune were really up for it yesterday. Yes, I'd love to come on here and give all the credit to Chiefs, which yes, credit to them, but I don't know, for me it was weird, I thought Skukune was gonna come out, belting out for this game, but it just felt like they were not really up for it. They were not as aggressive. And when you're playing Chiefs, you have to be aggressive because up front, Chiefs they are pretty easy to deal with up front. But yeah, I don't know what was going on in Skokune. They were playing a mid-low block against Kaizer Chiefs, which doesn't make sense for me because going forward we're not really threatening. If you press Kaizer Chiefs high up, then the only resorts that Kaizer Chiefs have is to play a long ball, and then gets to the first man, and then we play off the second ball. That's not a sustainable tactic. But
before we move on, to be fair to Chiefs, I mean, allegedly we've got the most chances created. Allegedly, on the board we've got the third most goals scored in the league. Shouldn't coaches be wary of that thing, that maybe you might find Chiefs on a day when they don't miss?
Yeah, but when is that day? When is that day gonna happen?
Yeah.
When is that? Like, it's actually insane the amount of chances we don't convert. We have the most chances created and at the lowest conversion rate. I say that with I don't know the stat, but I say that with very much confidence that we have the most chances created with very low. I mean, we should be the top goal scoring club in the PSL. Above Sundowns and Pirates with the amount of chances that we create. But I will say, for the future, I am scared for this team. For the future, I am scared because I'm worried about the development of our young players, your Mfundos, your Mdus, your Samgelos one is, I'm scared because the truth is, in the next 3 to 5 years, we could have an absolute belter of a team. We could have a really very good team. But I don't know if I trust the development of the club. We've seen many players fail at the club. I'll make an example with Ngezan. Even though, yes, he is doing good in Romania, we didn't see much of him in here at Chiefs. And I think that's a shame because, we have really good talent. If you look at the DDC, we have we have talented players. Even in the squad, you have talented players, players that I genuinely think could go very far. Players with great technical ability. So I am scared. I think the Chiefs should invest heavily into their development structures and, have a structure for these boys to actually develop their game and, make them homegrown heroes. But
is Chiefs a developing team? Currently, where we are right now, is there the room to develop? Because I mean, it's 10 years trophyless. There's massive pressure. The coaches are coming in and are being expected to create miracles. Is Chiefs a developing team?
We should be. I mean, look at Arsenal. Look at Arsenal. In 20, when Saka was still coming into the team, they were a pretty bad team in 2020 Arsenal. But he grew into the team as he was playing with them. That's the type of structure I need. That's the type of, yes, at Arsenal there was pressure. Fans wanted results and they were not coming, but they were still building those homegrown talents like our Saka and them. So yeah, I think they should just develop, even if it's just a side department, just build a development structure for these boys, and then your main priority can be the getting results, getting to the top three as a big team should be. I mean, look at all the big teams in the Premier League. You have your Man Cities with your Phil Foden and your Liverpools with your Trent Alexander-Arnold. So yeah, exactly. Make a good environment for the players to develop in. That's what I think. But for the game, I think it was a random win, individual brilliance. But yeah, I think that's it for me.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Let me bring in Sinje, the showstopper. Sinje, welcome to the show. How are you?
Alala, 3 points on the back, Alala.
Sinje, tell me about this game. 1-0. How did you feel about it?
Listen, there's a reason why Chiefs are amongst the top goals creating squad.
And technically goal scoring.
Yes, that's what I was going to say. There's a reason why Chiefs they've got 2 players that are 2 goals behind the top goal scorer in the PSL. There's a reason for that. The reason that's why we've got 2 players that are just behind Reynas, and that's because of the chances that we are creating. There's a reason why Mfundo Vilakazi, it took him 3 chances, just Mfundo alone, to score the winning goal. And there's a reason for that. So I think the other thing that I think that's what I took from this game. Going back to the question that you asked
before we go there, is it something that can be fixed, Sinje? Is it something that, do you need a strikeout coach? Do you need a psychologist? What do you need for the conversion to happen a bit more?
I think a striker coach probably could be the answer. Because you'll find that, I'll make an example, the important chance that he missed. I just think he missed that because he opted for a wrong technique, where he played the ball with his right foot instead of just covering it with his right. Would have given him a better option. But I also think that's another problem with our front 3, is that we've got one-footed attackers. None of them can kick with both feet. So naturally, they would want to use the strongest foot, and you'll find that the chance wanted them to use the weaker foot. That could also be the reason why we don't have the high converting rate that we should have. You'll find that the goal could have been could have been kicked on the left, but the player is right-footed. That also leads into a problem. So I think that's what I took from this game. I'm happy that Nabi almost went into the Ntseki tactic, where he plays with 2 8s that are half 8, half 10, with Zwane and Matlo. Both of them playing in an 8, but in an offensive way, one on the left, one on the right, and they would interchange right behind the 11 and 9, and right far behind the 9 and the 7. And I think that those were the good players for that tactic. My problem was when Tseki was doing it, he would do it with players that are not that good. Like he would play a Castillo and a Mart, half 8, half, and then we would leak at the back. And I think Nabi as well profiled these players quite well to play and execute this game. I always say Samkelo's one is not a 6. If you're going to play him half 8, half 6, you're destroying the boy. And a half 8, half 10 is a better role for him to play. You know, you can't play. I saw even in the previous game, how can you play Ngobo as a half 8, half 6? He's there by the center line. What threat does he possess if he's going to be receiving the ball from the center line? You know, and Samkelo can receive a ball from the center line because he's got a nice long range pass. He can find those gaps. But Ngobo is not that technical. Ngobo is a player that wants to receive the ball from the edge of the box. Then he's more dangerous there. Now, if you're going to play, he's going to get the ball from the center, from his own half. What is he going to create? And that was my issue with how we are using our players. The coaches were not using them to their full strength. You know,
very quickly, Sinja, I want you to stick on that youth question very quickly for the last minutes, for the last seconds here. How do you feel about the kids? They seem to be carrying the team. What needs to be done with them?
I think these boys are carrying the team properly. I think all I think the coach must do is use them to their strength. Sit to them, watch them from the DDC, watch how Zwane was using them, watch how this guy that is there was using them last season, and use them from there. And I think Mike Makaba was quite correct. If you remember, Mfundo Vilakazi was being played as a 10, and the agent was like, no, this is a wrong role for him. Play him in that wing in the right-hand side and let him come in because he's left-footed. And once that started to happen, now we started to see a better Obrigado in the starting lineup. But that was a slow start because the coach was playing him as a 10 rather than playing him in that right wing. And I think Chabalala as well, for me, he's more effective if you play him in the 11 position, coming in from the right-hand side and use that. For me, if you play on the right, then he can come in. That's how dangerous he is from my side. I mean, from the left, coming in with his right foot.
For time, I'm going to jump in. Guys, Yanga's complaining about sound. Can everybody hear the sound properly? Kupali tapping the screen. Kupali touching screen. Kupali gifty. Fresh, don't worry, I'm going to give you your time. Before I let Fresh in, I need the next topic. Next topic, we're going into the Pirates game. So those that want to discuss the Pirates game, please request now. Please request now so we can seamlessly go from that to there. Let me bring you Fresh. Fresh, welcome to the show. How are you?
Utsi urazi Bram.
Man, gimnandi Fresh, gimnandi nge 3 points. Ingitshela ngale game. How did you feel?
Hayi kodwa sijabulile ndoda. 3 points ekhaya.
Hey phela ngabe if isidliwe izolo. Hey. Ngabe namhlanje bayangibela but anyway, uyibona njani game?
Bethu I'm so happy if that game the way ngibuye ngakhona ngianalyzer. I'm so happy ngibona umthethwa alinka with his defense going backward. Uthatha ibhola from defense alinka with Zwane. They were playing with all department. They were so patient. But with my own analyzing, they were so patient. They were not rushing to goals. They were playing their balls, basically later, left, right, and center. So I think they performed so well. And to Umatlo, I was not expecting Umatlo he will raise his hands, say, Coach, I'm here. Because he's coming from injury, it's cut a
Yeah.
The way adlaling a corner, it feels like a glove.
Yeah.
It feels like a glove. So I think riding Utuba, I think coach Umelambe that position because he can stretch it was on defense, open space, he can create a space for himself from nowhere. He's so good around we send up again our opponent. I'm big wide because in he can stretch it defense and he can make a space, he can time his line very good. So I think right in the between 4 and 5 years our opponent.
Manje tshela mina ngifuna ukubuza ungawari ngesikhathi ngizokunikeza isikhathi tshela mina ngifuna ukubuza ngoPotsane noModi bafitha kanjani kule team. Okay. Fresh.
Upotsane he was good izolo udlala eGrand. Umodi kimi ngibone ube on and off. Upotsane he tries his best ukuthi raise isandla with no coach ngikhona. And mina I don't think ukuthi we need to buy more players Chiefs. I think I'm a player manje Opotsane Modi good. Problem yabo manje bafike when the time Chiefs under pressure. So maybe I don't think badlala the freedom.
Okay.
If we can win 3 games in a row, I think we'll see different Potsane and different Modi.
And then
so confidence is obviously corner.
No, ngifuna ukubuza ukuthi mase phambili uyibona njani le Chiefs? Do you think that abo Matlo are going to be enough? Uthe manje that you don't need to sign that many players. Who would you go sign? What positions would you strengthen?
I can sign a police something equality yakhe he deserves to play for Chiefs. So a police uzoba Pasadine.
Okay.
So Pasadine, yeah, and then I think with one striker beside Umoris with another strike because I can see most of people criticizing about Camoris and I told abantu ukuthi no guys that's in sometimes needs more cycle good because kuma team abedlala kuwo ukore 1 2 4 goals is not that clinical. Then sometimes it depends the position and the type of coach ukusebenzisa kanjani. So we can be surprised Mr. Umoris simnike chance ashayela amagoli mhlawumbe unabo umsebenza grand according to his strength.
Yeah.
Yabo. Mhlawumbe Umoris can surprise us. So let's not judge him. Asimnike i-benefit of the doubt and sibone ukuthi usiphatheleni.
Okay. No, Fresh, for time's sake, thank you, Fresh, together. Guys, we're going to move on to Pirates. I just want to say very quickly, my thoughts about this is Chiefs will give you effort. Like I always say, they'll give you effort. They'll play. Ba pusha, ba fitla, coordinating. They just need a finisher. But also in the context of the league, Chiefs is literally the 3rd highest scoring team in the league. The 3rd highest, behind Sundowns and the Pirates. So it's not that these guys are not scoring or doing all of those things. It's just that, guys, we're conceding a goal again. That was the 2nd clean sheet of the season right now. So I don't think it's alarm bells to the point that we are making it be alarm bells and all of that stuff. I think Chiefs right now is relatively okay. The problem is that they just don't finish their chances. I looked at the stats, 2 big chances created, 2 big chances missed. Vilakazi's goal doesn't count as a big chance. Uduba had, I think, 2 one-on-ones. So I don't know what to fix, but I'm also saying that I think there are some players on the bench that could maybe step in and make a difference. Mara, we don't trust. Was I not the one who was sitting here last week saying that I want Matlou to come inside? I want Matlou to come in and play. And people are saying, hey, no, Matlou that is. Akwana play. Use them right and put them into situations where they're going to be successful. But let's move on to Orlando Pirates. So let me see. I had written down the people that were here already. If it gives you a problem, guys, please just bear with me. And remember that you have to be following me in order to jump in. So, Prasem, request a happy Prasem. In the meantime, while I'm getting that right, Orlando Pirates took on the 12-time Champions League champions, Ahly, in a game that they won 2-1. Goals that came from Urile on the 53rd minute, Al Shahad equalized in the 69th minute, and then Mabasa popped up and he was able to give a 2-1, give Pirates another goal for a 2-1 win. When you look at the stats, Pirates had only 5 chances created, 2 on target, whereas Ahly was pushing 23 chances, only 6 on target. Then, of course, Ahly had 61% of the possession. And they created 4 big chances. They missed 3, and Pirates did, I believe it's 2-2. So let me see what's going to happen here with the people that have come in. Black Viper, le guy man. Yay, Gasmaila, I want to Gasmaila. If Nekiji, no, no, Mara, Black Viper, tell me, what is one game of Pirates?
Did you see game ya Pirates le Cape Town City previously? Did you see that game? Ne?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an ironic game, like vice versa. Like Alali yense ntwe Pirates yense to Cape Town City, which goes to show you sometimes you can beat people on paper. Or we just because Bakle Honna Lalaka and then Nike the 12-time champions, Bona they just won it once. We just like aye. Khale ba shapa batho bana kaofela na ai ke nkala bezi ke ba shapa ohle but o etsalang ka wena ona lona o tata the whole thing. I don't need to say a lot, but you just said a mouthful. But we say how many shots did they take?
23 shots, 6 on target.
23 for 90 minutes. It's a lot. To just score like 2 goals. A1 years, but you take offside button to score 2 goals. 23 shots. Yeah, like they should be ashamed of themselves, especially Bale High. Imagine Orlando, how many shots did they take? It's not even more than 15. That goes to show have the ball as much as you want. If you can't pull it in the back of the net, and about about it because now it's even more embarrassing because Onoba dominated to the point but even saying they are on our back so so it's a lesson going forward. Sometimes it's kanyata more just because I'm shady. And these revelations should even go back to Paris themselves. Kadi once of February. Prior to that game. We go in there to play for 3 points. To humiliate Chiefs because it might even backfire on them. That's how football it is. Yeah, these things, they are backfire. All cylinders will shoot the weight saying. Remember that these scenarios, Pirates is even the worst team because all these things, even Magezi did the same thing to one. But I take Magezi, wait a lang, Magezi, I check once, twice, so anything auto beat about on paper, but it touch a ground with a you end up losing 1-0, you end up losing unfavorable results. Or lose the way looking, it's shameful looking. You can't even look at yourself and say, I am the best team in the world. Like in that game.
Mara Kupa is that then maybe King secret sauce. Is that the secret sauce to go win the Champions League? Or, you know, you're not going to have possession. You're going to suffer. Mara, if you can take your 1-2 chances, okay, win. Do you think that that's the secret? And maybe the neighbors is something that they don't do well?
Yeah, I'm thinking it has something to do with it. It's partially part of it because like Champions League is not like your everyday local football when you need to dominate people with possessions, ball passing, all of those things. Like Champions League is a whole different level. You're not going to win games because with the best cow toucher ball, tiketa, kashusha and piano. It's different level because there are things along these teams, especially Northern African teams, they will do to you what they expect. And look what Ahly was trying to do to us on Saturday. They were falling down, begging for penalties. Sometimes they're too much aggressive on our players, try to get them to react. Like sometimes you're not going to win ball by being pretty on the ball. Like Oto Hasela, Oto try out to make things happen. And Oshabelidi, most of the free kicks, free kicks on the CAF Champions League itself. Because they rely on these things. So for me, like it's part of it. This secret sauce that you're gonna have to scheme your way into winning these games. You're not gonna win them pretty.
Okay. Let me bring in Andrew. Andrew, welcome to the show, Maestro.
Sure, OT. Thank you, man. I think it's my first time.
Hi, welcome. You must come back and you must keep coming back. Tell me, what did you feel about this Ahly Pirates game?
Yeah, I think on my side, man, Pirates, they didn't look like they wanted to win the game. They probably were hoping to get a draw. With back in their mind thinking that they also want to top the group as well. So yeah, and also I think in that game what I saw as well is that. First time I saw Orlando Pirates defenders, like they really worked hard. I mean, like defending the likes of Ahly, like they were coming to us, like each and every time you could see. Like I think after we scored the first goal, I think like it was 15 to 20 minutes. Ahly was like coming each and every time, coming to us. I think it's time now to maybe give Abu BC, Nabu Sesane their flowers as well, because like they did work very hard as well as Usipo Chaini naye usebenzile lapha emuva. So yeah, I think and then they bona ukuthi ba win a game. It's just that they made sure that they took their chances. You could see even first goal, it was just a luck. It was a cross from Umbata, and then the defenders, they didn't know what to do. They kind of collided there, and then and then took the chance and score. So yeah, I think
Mina ngifuna ukubuza ngama-player three. I want to ask you about Makgopa, I want to ask you about Tito, I want to ask you about Umbat. How did you feel about how they performed in this game?
Let me start with Umakgopa. For me, Umakgopa is not that striker that that you want Ama goals go. I think Nayo Rivero understands him as well as the bafana coach Hugo. Now I understand him because of at most he what he does, he just drags the defenders, creating Ama space for our wings, of which it's mostly Uratomo and Unkota, and I'm worried as well that why Unkota didn't play in this game. I think there was a chance where Uhoto got it, but then he didn't bury that chance. He just like like he was supposed to score. If maybe Unkota corner probably was gonna do something better than that. So yeah, I think for him, Umakgopa, like that's what they want from him. But and then Tina supporters obviously my striker was funa amagoal ayikho enye into esifuna. Yeah, so yeah, I think coming to Umbata.
Tito Umbata, either one. Yeah.
Okay, let me start with Umbat. So I think Umbata sometimes unokushawa stage fright, like sometimes lose a ball carelessly, or sometimes like aga like that's only pil mo tshwanetse ra tswele teng. Like we know him as a player, like he should now maybe aye phezulu instead of going up and down, because each and like ama game amanye uyamona ukuthi uyaperforma udlala grand, the next game expect more kuye and then akasigayi next. So I think maybe naye kwamele asebenze, pull up his socks, and then each and every game asinike something from it, right? Because now le cross layer, I think out of all the game, the 90 minutes that he played, I think ngimone kuyo le cross kuphela mina, to be honest, the way he crosses that ball and then luck comes and then really scores. And then other than that, naye besebenza, he was going back ayomaka yabo. And then I think at the same time ebesiza na no bathuba uMakaul. So but then for but then for
Kena Tito, just for this time now, because you've got a minute.
Okay, so yeah, utito naye wafethu angazi naye une problem nyana naye utito yabo, naye kwamele aphakamisa ama socks. That mina the way ngifila ngakhona, because there's more that guy he could give Pirates. I mean, like there's so much he could do on the pitch. But then sometimes naye angazi arrogance or something naye nokumthatha away just takes him away from the game, and then unaka too much izinto ezingaphandle yabo, into ezikanjani. So yeah, I think if ever naye anga pull up ama socks and then try to block all these things that are coming from outside, he could give us more. So yeah, and then I also could see that maybe coach Zam, I think maybe he saw what he could do ku bafana, and he's now trying to play Utito, but he more as a 10 le engabuyi, but a 10 le is always around the box and stuff. So yeah.
Okay. No, Maestro, you must come back. Guys, kupali tapping screen. Tap the screen. We're trying to get to a very big number. I want 50,000. And then Kupari give the man on top. Thank you to David. Thank you to Papa Khosi. Thank you to Fanenom. Thank you to Korani. Thank you to Harisha. Yeah. No, that one. Very late. Talk about.
Shute watsamaya. Shute watsamaya. Haki player ko CAF ba ekagna experience. Haki winner group stage ba CAF iso Tommy. Where's the Spillion?
Spillion who, man? How?
Spillion who? Yeah. Did you see the goalpost has changed again now?
Yeah, I saw.
The Champions League is not won by a team that plays good, yeah? The goalposts have changed again now.
Yeah.
Bizoti. Askal Balad.
Yeah.
Oh, let me greet everyone first from the top of the Group C and from the seeded pot. So
from one of two unbeaten seeds.
From one of 12 unbeaten. We have one almost that thing. Hey, we've been there before. The couple sadlala sibeka apartheid thina. Billions ingekho billions. We are from the hardship of being kicked by Verwoerd and De Klerk. So imagine coming from such a hardship and winning this thing from the first time, eh? Bese now we've even played two final even and they're gonna tell me about the Spillion.
In 95, when you were the backbone of a certain team, the national team.
This cup with players that were relegated with Jomo Cosmos. Just took them. Put fish Ozana, my guys, come relegated. Come, let's go and play Africa.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey, be careful. Hey, Ahly. Now we try go number 2.
Hey, number one, yeah, we've been there. It's fine. They can attack us 28 shots. As long as China's of him, shy one. Bese siyadlula. Sithi one. Start ikabuthini. Sibuye sizolungisa la ekhaya. Sibelo umsebenzi onzima kabi kulonyaka. Kulonyaka lokhu impela ngishilo ngathi makhosi nani laba semva kwethu labeli king. Sinimele thina amabhakani. Nani niyabo nisikwatela nje ukuthi asishaye ama teams shale Sundowns ngoba niyawazi amandla ethu anwangabazi. Nazi amandla ethu sinimele ase-Africa. Ngakhathazeki sobuya nayo lento nesisijwaye la ubala lo into ezincane. Ezincane mdala.
Mara velile ngitshela ngocoach wakho mina ngifuna ukubuza ngocoach wakho man. Yazi ngathi kuno underrated nyana lapha ku Rivero ngoba uyenza into mina ngibukele he did something that other coaches couldn't do especially mabadlala eAfrica. Tell me about man uRivero man uRivero.
Le ngoma ye-7 time league champion in a row. Bayern Munich was 20 times in a row. But last year they were defeated by Leverkusen. And this year again ngaleyo ngoma leyo. Iyakhathaza, siyakwazi muslo. Hey, safa. Mawusaba ukuthi uyakhuluma wena uzotshela nge-7 time in a row. Hey, hayi man. Lalela mntakababa, ucoach wethu yakhumbula ukuthi uthe makafika abizwa ngamagama amaningi. And akabizwa ngama-supporter kuphela, even nama-journalist, ama-professional. Abantu ekumele ngabayawazi umsebenzi wawo. But so far, I think uwaphuvile wrong because he realized some of the mistakes that I've always complained about them last year, even the previous year. Of ukuthi, and sometimes we are self-sabotage by playing players in the wrong positions. And especially in crucial games, and then which affected the league performance for the past 2 seasons. Hopefully this year, uzamile kona, but what usakwenza kancane football that sometimes uyabona ukuthanda uhota amlahlele of which khona lapho angakuniki khona lutho, but ngasho nje ukuthi maybe he has learned from the past 2 years experience. And akusokuqala, even we look at our previous coach Vert, he didn't perform. He had a 3-year contract, but he didn't perform in the first 2 seasons of his contract. He only performed in his last contract. So it's one of those things whereby good mhlambe naye and into engithusa ngiyabona nje ukuthi since angaka-signing ngibona ngathi impela hawo umthwalo uzobhokweni.
Ufuna ukunishiya nestar mara for isikhathi vele.
Ngiyabona kumele bazame baqale basilungiselela lapha and uyoshiya naso.
Ukushiya na something.
Yabona kulo nyaka le lo hayi so khahlela inja impela kuze kuvele umnikazi wayo so shaya abantu afika sibashayela sithatha iligi siqede zonke le inkulumo ze900 million awu nkosi yami savelelwa
isikhathi velile isikhathi
kodwa ngisasho ukuthi mina namanje ngisasho ukuthi someone was preview ukuthi iClub World Cup yes ina 900 million.
Uyabona ke ngiyakhipha manje angifuni ukula naloyo muntu ngiyakutshela nalapho ufuna ukungifaka hayi velile tingifaka uPrasemba now hey velile abantu barish wena ufuna ungifaka khona anginaloya mina unelegal ayikho Prasemba
bari yadlomnyam oh yadlomnyam oh yadlomnyam hey bra oti how's it
ay kumulati man alithabile lena kuyathaba man emplela ka game Prasemba alati Egypt okay bona kana
win MTN 3 times in a row. But 2 weeks cup. Hey, not okay, it's fine. Win up. But I want you to it's fine. I win Nedbank Cup. Nedbank Cup, 2 weeks cup, 2 months cup. Okay, it's fine. I'm ready for Champions League. We go to Champions League. Guess what? Pot number 3. There's favorites in the group. We come there unbeaten. Hey, now the Champions League is easy. Ahly is no longer the same. There's always something. Wait until you win the second star. They will say, hey, VR, but then it's fine. Coach was a Rivero. Hey, my brother, we from far. I've been supporting Pirates since 2002. But then if I were to think back, like 2015, 16, 17, 18, we were suffering. We got six, we got 4, we got no more. No more food. And when I say no more, I mean no more from Klerkop to, I don't know. So now we are here to fix the bargaining.
To fix the country.
We saw BEE. Fixing the imbalances of the past, something like that. It talks about fixing what happened back then. We are trying to rearrange the system now. We're fixing the count. We're no longer cooking, we are dishing now. We are dishing. And then the thing, Champions League, as you told me, it's fine. We're from Spain, my man. We beat Sevilla there. Fair and square, 2-0. What about Sundowns? One phone, agent. But then
Prasem, Lisa Kaintwen. Le qualify the top of the group. Le go le number 2. Le win the MTN 80. Le akaika season man.
Barathatha lento ayinabungozi glada stare barasfishi kasipedi asfishi asinabukodzi ni and some other parents are criticizing our players like guys we are so proud like we went there to Ahly against all odds. Jose Rivera, you know what, I'm not going to change anything. 4-3-2-1 like always, same player, same system. Ahly is favorite is fine. We're going to go there and match them pound for pound. If they beat us, they beat us. We're already qualified. There's nothing to lose. But if it was Hugo Bros, guess what? 8 defenders, two midfielders, no strikers. But then because now we are fearless, we got there full force. If they beat us, we understand that, okay, they're stronger than us, will come back. But then guess what? We beat them away in front of their people. And paying Lender guy, South Africa. Why? What do you call that?
Prasad, before you move on, I think that's a very important point. How much is man to have courage? How much is that courage helping Pirates? Kaubane babang banakana the system really coach, and I'm not saying wrong, but now you've got a coach who's not afraid. How much does that play into it? Lebana letsamele ka bomfukeng ka bonkota ba dadile bo CRB bo Sesane bo Mbata. How much does that play into it, or a coach alona man only courage
to show this guy is fearless? Libiso get injured. Guess what? The boy from DDC, Asanga Dala Paris before. Raymond, someone say now you are ready for this. You've been waiting for this. That boy came in and played his socks off. It shows, you know what? That team, it's not a Hitler. Even at half time, if you can check half time, you will go there and listen to the players or whatever among themselves. They talked about themselves, okay, problem more, and then the space here. And then it comes in, okay, Tito, you are right. Mahoba, you are right. Let's do this and do this. This is how we're going to win. And then that's how you build a team. You don't have to tell the people, you must move here, you must move here. They tell your coach, I can't move here because of when I move here, this guy's doing this. How about I do this? Then I listen, I tell you, okay, this guy is making a point. Do it, let's see. Guess what? We beat everyone now in the group of Champions League.
For time, brother, hey, Luna Lansosa. Kamo, Tivelile, Ubuaka, but who've got a lot of money. When I was in Hitler, hey, Kauka. Anyway, Bongs.
Yes, Brouty.
Bongs, o ring ka paga man, our neighbors. Baile kwaku Kairoba winner 2-1.
Yeah, I guess something about try it. But Kauta defenses are Pirates and they work out they are winning a star. So give out about just a fellow one thing. They must not put all their eggs in one basket. Because what Pitso Kilabua are no. Winning the group stage doesn't mean who win the Champions League. So I don't know why Pirates are so sure for the second star without having to play the knockout stages. It's not confirmed to Rabatle winner Leon. There's still a lot of work to Rabat. Though you might find Al-Ahly by jail in the group stage, and then in the end, you are not the very same Al-Ahly ends up winning the whole tournament.
So then, Bongs, how do they make sure that it doesn't happen to them? How do they make sure that they go into the group stage, the knockouts, and they're successful? By it,
home wins, away draws. That's how they can win the tournament itself. If they can get an away draw and a home win, it's possible of a guy win. That's the only way a guy win. But at this point, defenses are too much and they are not humble enough. They will learn how to be humble come 1 February. That's when they will learn football is a different game.
I know therefore.
And they will learn yeah, exactly. I know therefore. So they are going to learn a lesson. If they didn't learn from my gates, there comes a wounded lion called Kaizer Chiefs. It's going to beat them.
Mara libo le tlogelang tabi re sa ko free agents mara bongs. Bongs, what do you think the season ends with? What do you think the season ends with for Pirates?
Pirates will try and fight Sundowns as usual, but you know how Sundowns are. In the end, Sundowns are going to do what Man City always does. They'll still win the league.
Okay. For time, let me jump in so I can also give my thoughts. If you watched my match reaction, guys, I was so hyped up and I was so happy. And the reason why I was happy is that I think the one thing I always give Jose is that he does the obvious things. And not only does he do the obvious things, man, sometimes you don't need to complicate life. You know, when you play in Africa, it's not beautiful. If you watch any of the CAF games, most of them are ugly. Most of them are not games where there's possession, where there's abo passing, abo sugar, it's teams that suffer. And for some reason this season, I can't explain it, Pirates changed the way that they play. We spoke about it earlier in the season. For those who have been watching the show from early in the season, we spoke about how Pirates is no longer playing that Pirates. Last season, they were beautiful, they were but they were inconsistent. You could beat them on any given Sunday. This Pirates team doesn't look the best. You know, they struggle to get the ball out. If you look at the chances created, they had 5 shots, 2 on target. They struggle to create clear-cut chances. Bata and Fukeng lost the ball a lot. You can't necessarily play out from the back with Bodlela and Cesar. Fukeng, as great as he's been, he disappears for quite a long time in games. Umakhupa finds himself running on the wing and doing all of these different things. Umako and Libito are not make sure. But in Africa, and in the games that they've played up to this point, I think Pirates has only lost 3 or 4 games all season long. The Pirates went to Cairo, one of the places where everybody says it's the hardest place to go. One of the hardest places to go in Africa. And I don't know if it's because they're a hoodoo team for Ahly, but they've beaten Ahly on multiple occasions. But I think my favorite thing about what Coach Rivero did, my favorite thing, everything else aside, you can speak about bringing kids and playing them and trusting youth and trusting DDC players when maybe you shouldn't be. The balls that he has. My thing is, he out-Africa'd Ahly. Ahly played their game. Usually, first half is not very good. They go into the second half and halfway through the second half, they make changes so that they can put you into a corner, make the changes, score, and go home. So if you think about the fact that El-Shanawi, the goalkeeper, is on the bench. Al-Shahad, the goal scorer, came from the bench. He's one of their starters. Ahly was basically coming out to go, we're going to hit Pirates, and then we're going to do what African teams do. We're going to hit Pirates, and then we're going to push them back, and there won't be enough time for them to come in. And there was a point in that match where I was sitting down and I was thinking to myself, yeah, Pirates, why aren't you defending? Farama defend. Patrice Rivero had the balls to say, you know what? Make your move. we only have to weather 10 minutes. Then I'm going to make my own attacking subs and push you back. That is insane. That is not something we've seen a lot. So me, I love this game. I love this game for Pirates because, you know, when you look at that Pirates team, you've got inexperience all over the place. Some players are not playing up to par. Tito. They're not. Yeah, you've got so many things that should be wrong, but that man understands his team, understands his bench. I don't know how far it's gonna go. I don't want to speak about the future and derbies and you know, the knockout stages and all of that. But up to this point, guys, you have to give Jose Rivero his flowers. You have to give Jose Rivero his flowers. And I think we don't do that enough with him, specifically, for what Pirates has done this season. Guys, I'm sorry. Pirates is a really, really, really good team. Anyway, guys, we're going into Sundowns. Please, only request if you're going to speak about Sundowns. I will free up some time at the end of the show. Once we're done with the Sundowns, I'll free up some time for everybody to come in and give me a minute of whichever match they want to speak about, whichever match they want to do. So please, I'm giving just a minute again. Please, 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 it's going to be Sundowns. We're speaking for Sundowns. We're speaking about Sundowns and they 1-1 draw versus AS FAR. Thank you guys so much for the likes. Thank you guys so much for the gifts. Kupari gifty. Eman oketsang, add on top. Okay, let me let in the Sundowns people and we can go from there. Mamelodi Sundowns played a 1-1 draw versus AS FAR. Shasha scoring 3 goals, his third goal in 2 games. They had 12 shots, 5 on target, whereas AS FAR had 7 shots, 1 on target. Mamelodi Sundowns at 69% of the possession. I see the comments. Hey. Both teams, I think a business decision was made. Nothing was sold. A business decision was made. Why, guys? We both qualified. We're both wanting to go through. You know, why must we run at the end of the game? Why are we doing all of those things? But anyway. Let me let in the Sundowns people and Batay Puela. Sambe.
Hey, Mr. OC.
Hey man, bati man, ngcindezela abo happy bingali.
Mr. OT, you must fight fire with fire, Mr. OT. You must fight umthakathi ngowakho umthakathi now, Mr. OT. Yeah, kufike Mr. OT, open hands, uthi, do with me what you will. Lento seBhayibhelini mebathi when they slap you on the one side, give them the other cheek.
Yeah.
Mr. OT. Ayisebenzi.
Okay. Before singena, what did you think of the game?
Mr. OT, I think it was another typical CAF game, Mr. OT. When it's dominated game yonke, Mr. OT, up to maybe that 70th minute, until vele decide ukuba politically correct, Mr. OT, but otherwise, I think the game there with the 70% ball possession, Mr. OT. So leya team leya, Mr. OT, as far Mr. OT, bingasi team ebefana ukuthi sithusilo yabo, Mr. OT. But I think more than anything, I'd like to start out by just saying congratulations to the great institution of Mamelodi Sundowns, Mr. OT. Congratulations to the fans of Mamelodi Sundowns. Okwesingakhi manje, President Bataye to Lena, Mr. OT. Congratulations to Orlando Pirates and congratulations to Stellenbosch, even though we're Pakabulega Plum Stellenbosch zone. But yeah, congratulations to these South African teams. Mr. OT, me more than anything, I'm disappointed in my fans' words, Mr. OT. Because Mr.
OT.
Because Mr. OT, we allowed a Trojan horse and izongena manje izozikhulumela lo Trojan horse leyo ukuthi izofaka i-unsettlement, Mr. OT. Khona i-Trojan horse efikile yaza ngama conspiracy we 9/11 lana, Mr. OT.
kwaba i-chaos nje Mr. Ot ngamangala nami ukuthi enhleke kwenzakalani manje lana Mr. Ot why manje bakhuluma kanje labantu laba Mr. Ot manje why manje ama-fans Sundowns sewasheka kanje but it is what it is Mr. Ot
can I just ask you straight Mina I don't want to go into conspiracies is there anything wrong with two
that's
teams?
what I was gonna ask nami ukuthi yinto wrong eyenzakalile Mr. Ot kahle kahle izolo because the primary objective Mr. Ot is to qualify. The primary objective is not to play a one-touch football, it's to qualify Mr. Ot. Lezi ezinye izinto singazenza la ku-PSL but modlala CAF primary objective is to qualify Mr. Ot and we had achieved that primary objective. So now why must we still play at 110% Mr. Ot? Such an early stage in CAF especially. We must conserve our energy Mr. Ot because as the season progresses we're going to play a lot more games Mr. Ot yabo? So we need to make sure we conserve our energy Mr. Ot for the later stages of CAF Mr. Ot and I think that has been our biggest mistakes in the previous years. More than anything what is Cardoso showed yesterday is how much Sundowns has learned from their previous mistakes Mr. Ot is that man ngiphethe iflu man velile labo mama bala eKaslamba babhizi ngamba yangithakathi imakancane vele what Sundowns showed yesterday Mr. Ot is how much they've learned from the previous years Mr. Ot and ukuthi lento of going all out sasuka izokushaya Mr. Ot because what you're doing then is allowing yourself to be a target so that everyone has enough game film on you to analyze you and see all the strategies you play with and see yonke lento le. Sundowns isn't even playing past gear 2 Mr. Ot right now if we're being honest. If we're being completely honest Mr. Ot we still have more gears to kick into. iPirates iphelelwe manje gear 5 iphelele iPirates manje sibabhekile manje sibamamile okay ayeza amakula azonithela induku bafana bami ayeza amakula azonithela induku yabo Mr. Ot so mina ngicabanga ukuthi lento yenzakalile izolo into egrand Mr. Ot into begrand Mr. Ot yeah
I don't know if you let me bring in agent my brother. I hear that you've got a cape, you've got a Captain America shield, Captain Clorcop shield, you've got everything ready. How are you my brother?
I don't know if I should be greeting you Shalom because I'm not bringing peace today. I don't know if I should be greeting you Shalom. But Shalom to Sundowns fans only. Because those are the only people that I'm bringing peace to. No, I wanted to talk about football, but I'm going to steal the 19 seconds of ASAP. Just talk about football. Firstly, Divine Lunga was my man of the match. His best game that I've seen. Tabza also did well. And also the fans came out in numbers. I appreciate that for them. Yeah, I'm done with football.
Hey Nazo.
Yes. No. Do you know the saying? Good guys finish last.
Yeah.
Girls will always did that one rebellious person, not the good one. Why? Because those guys are brave. Well, now you are nice, you are shy and everything. Kwababa is hitting you. No. You have to be brave and be a bad boy. But here's my question. OT. Yeah. When you lose quarterfinals, you said what is it because? You said it's not because of defense or what? You said it's because of what?
Last 20 minutes.
Why? What's happening? What's your analysis of that? What?
In the last 20 minutes, Sundowns makes the wrong decisions and they usually blink first.
Yeah. And you said that is down to mentality, ne?
Yeah.
But why do other games we win though?
Because you guys are the big guys. When you're the big dogs, you're the ones that makes other
games of consequence. Other games of consequences, we win them. Why?
I don't know why.
You don't understand the question. I'll ask you it again after some time. So
yeah,
for me, what I've seen is every time we get knocked out in CAF, ever since 2017, right? We get knocked out because we play the last game at home. Which means when we play the last game at home, we somehow, the game is finished away and we come here and we lose. You know, that is the first point.
Yeah.
But only against once in 2017, where we played away the last game and we lost that game on penalties. Abutu Kuto argues that why am I saying that playing home as the last game gives us an advantage when other home games we do qualify? So that is my question to you. Why is the mentality poor on some games and not on some games? That's why I was asking that question. Because for every rule, there's an exception. So the best thing that we did yesterday was we needed a draw. If you qualify as number 2, we play home first and we play away last, which is something that we have shown that we do well. We deal with quarterfinals. What happens in the semifinals, we'll deal with it then. That's the first thing. My second point is this. If it was the 85th minute, OT, and the team scores, what are you going to do? What are you going to do?
35th minute?
85th minute. As what do you do?
6 defenders.
Why?
Just to see out the game. I just need 10 minutes.
Exactly. And that team knew that one point is enough, so they didn't come and attack us. So why should we attack them? It's as simple as that. The team scored. You know? So should we go and attack because we want to be the good boys and the professional? What happens if we concede?
Yeah.
And then
but I just wanted to ask.
Yeah.
I just asked the simple question. Is it wrong? Because I feel like we are acting as though rules are broken. If 2 teams looked at the time and said, you know what, guys, you know what? We've both qualified. It's fine. Is it wrong?
What is the difference between what happened that time and Pitso Mosimane cleaning yellow cards? You remember that game where we got 6 yellow cards? What's the difference? It is still unsportsmanship. It is still ungentlemanly. How did we win AFL? We wasted time, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
What is the difference with that? That's my question. So for me, I just hear people, hey, they mentioned the keeper, right? Here's the keeper. Here's the thing about the keeper. How many times have I complained to you about Ronan Williams? This season, how many times?
This season,
If at all there was a mistake, he has been poor from the get-go. Some say he's been trying to give people goals. How many times does Tebza lose the ball and give it to the opponent in build-up play? So we're selling those games. So for me, what I'm saying is, even if there was some element of shadiness, I welcome it and I have no shame, because when I'm in Rome, do what the Romans do. And as they say, beaten once, twice shy. Thank you. Others can jump on top of the tree. As a wise man once said in my last 4 seconds, manage your house, I'll manage mine. Thank you.
Hi guys, let me bring in Malume Kutso.
The wise man is unemployed today. But anyway, how
Nakini aquí Africa. Que moko hae ko FNP ko Moses Mapita kini
Kulta kama wise man. Kulba nasa kile pere. Bangbiza ke hash. Wasingi pere. Angisingi hash limtado because I'm very dark skinned. Shoot me nangi hash limnyama la.
That's what you can say. Kabanu munga wataba.
No, Mr. Witty, it's fine. We've listened to them. They also accept. Papi's kirikiri lapo. Lengoma le. Baikula from the start. Which are we kefer with nekabutsotsi. Bayas, they could feel it in their blood from the start. Bazabayanza nengoma. Mr. Ucha, I just want to say, I'm very proud of Orlando Pirates. Ukuthi manje bofakele out yekhosi liyangazi why bofakele out yekhosi ngesikhathi sePirates and a profile picture yakhe yikhosi ubhizi lo muntu lo ushela nge1 thina sikhuluma
ngeke
awungifakanga bengimile
ke re ke now uska kwa ona le taba ya ha
Mr. Uthi silibonile Mr. Uthi mara mina ngithi khona team eyathi give us Pirates sikhumbula sonke. Yathi give us Pirates. Football is won on the field. Le nto abayizamayo le ukuthi bafuna i-Pirates le because bacabanga ukuthi kithi lawo miyehlelo. You will cry, litlalela mitsutsu. Because it's clear they want Pirates. It's clear, Mr. Uti. I-Pirates abayisabi. And it's also Kokota Makanda, Mr. Uti. So Kokota Makanda, ngathi CAF, ngathi yazini. Since nidlalela at home lapho. Thathano review lapho. Akuvele review lapho sinawo istimali. Abone everybody travel from Africa. Akuvele review lapho. Khona review CAF. Akavela areve lapha ahlale lapho. Vele kuphele, vele kube mnandi. Bayeke ukukhala. Bakhala ngento entsha manje. Akekho basakhala nge-MTN 8. Bakhala ngento entsha manje. Because le bayenza ukusidelela Mr. Uthi. Le ukuthi bathi bafuna iPirates ukusidelela. So apply ku-CAF. Sikhulume noMtsipe sithi uyazi ukuthi akuvotela uThoma thatha igame ayiphathe. Areve i-fair play njengoba bajwayele kudliwa abantu. Yangikwatisa labantu Mr. Uthi. Siyibonile iSundowns isheshela morawo. They couldn't even string passes, Mr. Uti. String passes. You can waste time. Sometimes I call waste isikhathi. Where does the temp game management come from? But they were doing it beautifully, with decency. Balshera, balpass. Leba yenzi zolo. Seba yenzi draw bona. Bayabaleka. Yiyo le Sundowns le kabuyelo bafana ba style. Piano and shoe shine. Kwashona uPrastel, kwashona ne-dignity, ne-identity. Because
what do you say to the people that argue that as far Leonera guys how win?
They were number one. And as far as I'm on occasion, Ukpoboza, like Upresu Williams.
Yeah.
But yeah, Mr. Uti, it was disappointing. And it shows Nakono Uti. Gusaza CAF, Mr. Uti. CAF Pelani. Champions League.
I'm not sure. Not May.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
Just an estimate. I don't need the exact day.
I'd say April, May.
Ipela before Club World Cup. Bekumele bathathele winner leya manje. Bayifake ku Club World Cup. Hayi lento emhlolisa ubona manje abantu aba-experimenta benza into ezisnacks. Benza into ezisnacks kanje because bafakiwe nge-backdoor na ku Club World Cup. Benza into ezisnacks kanje because they can afford all of this nonsense. Abongile Tom can solve all of this. I am applying to CAF to say they want Orlando Pirates. Give them a full package, a full experience, say Orlando Pirates. Sicela no Abongile Tom in that game. I thank you, Mr. Uti. Ndaba sengikhulumela la machita kakhulu le ngaphandle le ngwa explainela. Mefika la bangibiza ngepere. Mara ke pere.
All I will say, guys, for this segment, the thoughts and views expressed by the comments or by people on the panel are not those of overthinking football. Hey, Agna, man, you're guys. Let me bring in Kodani. Kodani, welcome to the show. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. LT. Shoot, Ratamaya. Shoot, I'll shoot Ratamaya. Maruina Ligi, Marizupa Kabidwalo. Oh, Mr. OT, how are you doing, man?
I like you
I can see you're just watching there. Two bulls are busy fighting.
My problems don't have passports. That's all I'm saying. My problem.
Now I can see you're busy enjoying there. But anyway, let me just take it back a little bit. People tend to forget. Beginning of the league, when we were playing MTN 8, everyone is saying Sundowns is dead, Sundowns is not going anywhere and everything. Currently, we are number one on the betting. We qualified for the CAF. And let me tell you something. This is the Sundowns that is more dangerous. People must be scared of it because now everyone coming with that tendency that it's not Rulani Sundowns, so it's not scary. And they'll be shocked when we are playing final in June. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
For this CAF. So sometimes in life you don't need to work hard. You just need to work smart. That's what happened yesterday when we drew that game 1-1. So that was a smart move for Mamelodi Sundowns. Yes, but going to that game, I think we did dominate it, maybe up until 70, 80, up until that time where we started relaxing. But my issue on the forward, the combination for Shalolile and Renas and Ribeiro, I think they are forcing things there. It's not there. If those two guys, they are playing together, one is missing, one is there, or other way around. So I think we need to start introducing the Matthew, Ribeiro, and Renas.
RMR.
Going forward, we need to start introducing that combination. Then we can change there and there, but I think that's the combination that can win us games. And then also at the back, Morena's good going forward, but he leave a lot of space. When it comes to defending, we always open on that space. That's why even that goal came from him on that space. So I don't know, maybe if they need to communicate. If Morena is there, Mudau is not there, then they need to make sure that maybe Mokwena and Khoza, they need to cover that space for him so that he can. But I think that combination can work mostly on Betway Premiership, not on CAF. On CAF, we need someone who can defend, not leaving that space open. And
I want to ask you. I want to ask you how much of this hinges on players that you don't have. So will Sundowns change the way that they play when a Kutsia comes back? Do you think that you are just lacking some players, maybe a Zwani?
I don't think Sundowns is lacking players. Sundowns, we have a lot of players. It's just that we just need to use them on right position. But the only concern that I have, especially at the back there, Mvala, I think we miss him, especially on CAF. I think the combination from Mvala and Khoza will be great. Kakana, I don't. There at the back, no, I don't feel him. So I think if Vala can come back, I think it will be great. Even Kotia when he comes back, but I don't think Sundowns now needs to rely on Kotia because of injuries. I think now we need to try to introduce someone who's going to be fit all games, because if we rely on Kotia, maybe that's why they try to get Adams now, so that maybe they can start replacing him bit by bit, because Kotia is always injured, so you can't have him all the season. So that's another thing that I see there at the middle of the park.
Okay, Korani. Thank you for speaking football, hey guys. This line.
But mark my words, Mr. Oti, Sundown is gonna go to the final. That's one I can bet on it. I'm telling you.
Okay. Let me bring in Karim. Welcome to the show. How are you?
OT, salam, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. I'm just listening. I'm just here to listen and not judge. We don't judge.
People are happy. Hey, people are happy. They have the second star. It's fun, but let me not talk about other people's houses. Let me clean my house. Hey, I'm not happy with my house, OT. I'm not happy. The future is looking bleak, especially when it comes to CAF. I was so disappointed. OT, when you guys talk about mentality, you and Agent talk about mentality, I question our mentality. It seems like these North African teams have an edge when it comes to mentality. If you look at Sundowns, the first half, we looked brilliant. We were everything. We were in control. We were getting into their last third. It seems like they were not managing our passing lines. We were getting through them. But then everything changed in the second half. And I asked myself why. When I look at the game, these guys in the second half started pressing aggressively. In the first half, it was more like they were just sitting, they were just happy with the result. So for me, it goes to that thing of mentality. It's like these guys, if they want to win or want to score, they will score. If they want a draw, they will get a draw. I will touch on Pirates also. The same thing happened with Pirates and Ahly. When Ahly wanted the second goal, they got the goals. It just reminded me that, okay, this is what we're gonna expect in the quarterfinals. It show these last games are showing you what's gonna happen in the quarterfinals, and this is how they're going to play when you get to the quarters. These guys, if they want to win or get a draw, they will get it. If you look at Sundowns last season, in the CAF against Esperance, same thing happened. When these guys wanted to score, they scored.
So can I ask you, has Sundowns, it's a conversation we've had on the show, but has Sundowns gone the long route to fix a problem, to fix all other problems except for that thing? Like I always say, the last 20 minutes is where Sundowns loses all of their games of consequence, right? Did it go the long route to go get rid of Rulani and get rid of Mangob and bring Cardoso when the problem is something else? Is that maybe something you're touching on here?
OT, for me, it's the mentality. That's why I'm saying these guys have a mental edge over our players. The mentality. In Sundowns, I don't think we have the fighters we had when we won CAF. If you look at that squad, there were fighters everywhere.
There were soldiers.
Soldiers, yes. Soldiers everywhere. You look at this team, what was happening in the second half, the mistakes. Everyone was just making mistakes. It's like everyone was just scared. Or you ask yourself, where's the fighter who's going to motivate the team? It's usually Ronwen. But he was the one who was crumbling in this moment. There was no one else. He was shaking. There was no one else to pick him up. There was no one else. In that 2016 squad, you had your Sompos, you had Mabunda, you had Teko Motisas, you had Onyango, there were so many players. There were so many players who were soldiers there. In this squad, it's just a few, a very, very, very few. And with Rulani it worked because they focused more on playing than the mentality. So
Can I ask you? I want to ask you though. How much do you think all of the changes that have happened at Sundowns have started influencing everything? Because you're going from a team that had relative stability. So when you speak about Pitso's team, the through line all the way to Rulani was guys that had been there for a very long time. And now you're changing everything. How much is that affecting? Maybe, I don't know. Is that affecting anything?
I think to a certain degree it does, OT. I think it does. It's you have your Tembazwana who's been there, with the team since the times of Pitso and them. But it's just him and in the field. It's just him in the field, and currently he's not even around. So it does affect the team. You have a group of players who are all new together, who have not really experienced or have that mentality, and they have different coaches with different styles of coaching. Rulani was more focused on playing. I think most of these players were not drilled with that mentality. None of these players were part of Pitso, if I'm not mistaken. Or very few of them were they part of Pitso, where they were drilled and they were taught how to go in CAF games. Because most of these players, for me, I feel like they still they're too tactical, and it's not enough for CAF. I think it's not enough going forward. I don't see this team taking this CAF unless miracles happen. But but I saw a couple of changes in the game. Also, the way we played OT. I saw us overloading the left side of Lunga, which was different from what we previously did. We overloaded the left side and switched to the right side. We left Morena alone there, so we overloaded the left and switched to Morena. But then the problem with that, with Morena switching to Morena, is that Ribeiro now is inverted, so he's more like in the half space. When you switch him, when we switch, we get the ball to Morena. He's alone that side. That's why he ends up having to cross. He can't even cut it back to someone because Ribeiro is inverted. I don't think that Ribeiro inverting is working. I think we should put him back into the wider channels, and he must play with and have combinations with either Morena or Mudau. That inverting, I think we're overdoing it now. It's not working anymore. It worked for the Chiefs game, but for this game, for a lot of games, it didn't work. It works here and there, but it's not consistent. It also makes
Yeah.
Ribeiro look bad at times because he has to now be a sort of like a playmaker. And he doesn't and he wants to beat players in the middle
Everyone.
of the park. Yeah, and he ends up losing the ball.
For
So that's
time's
why
sake.
I'd rather have. Yeah.
No, Kariba, I need to jump in for time's sake. Just finish off that point.
No, I was saying I'd rather have him in the wider channel, so and then going into the half space where he can beat players and get combinations there than having him centrally. Yeah.
No, for time's sake, Karim, for time's sake, I'm gonna jump in. Okay, guys, I'm gonna say a very short piece of mine. Then I've made a note of some people since I'm looking at the time. I'm gonna let them in, the guys that had been there. Kumo, DJ Nuts, Black Viper Cass, Benisiso and Dwesh. Please get ready to jump in, and I'll see if I can't fit anybody else in after that. Here's my thing about Mamelodi Sundowns. There's two things I want to mention here. There's a question I asked the middle of last season about the Sundowns, where I said, are we ready as a footballing country, South Africa, as people who support Mamelodi Sundowns, are they ready to play ugly, to win ugly, to do the ugly things? And are we ready as a country? You see how much dust we're kicking up about this? Now I was like, oh, okay, it's a business decision. ASFAR is saying, guys, we're top. Mamelodi Sundowns is saying, okay, we just needed a draw. Hey guys, why do we need to fight each other this hard after this? Let's just, you know what, guys, for the last 10-15 minutes, shake hands and leave it. What did we say, South Africans? We are angry. Okay. Are you willing to put aside the shushan and piano and play effective football? Hey, win. Now we're seeing again that we are not ready. We're not ready to play that football. Guys, the truth is that this is African football. And the other truth is that it's been 30 years. We only have 2 stars as a country. So is it wrong for Sundowns to go a different route? Is it wrong for Sundowns to do some calculations and say, okay, we always get beaten, like Agent said, we always get beaten when we play the second leg at home? How about we put ourselves into a situation where we're trying to give ourselves all of the advantages? Honestly speaking, the quarterfinals doesn't matter. Sundowns usually gets past the quarterfinals. But is it wrong? The second thing I want to speak about is beginning of this season, before the season started, I think it was before Rulani was fired or even sometime last season, I put out a video and I said, Mamelodi Sundowns is coming to a crossroads. No more beautiful football, no more stability. And what I mean by stability is Sundowns has been using the crutch of Coach Pitso's structure this whole time. The fact that you can draw it back, and it's not a bad thing. But bringing in Abo Fleming, cutting coaches, bringing in coaches from outside, players from South America, doing all those things was something that Sundowns needed to choose, and they chose to go that way. What comes with that? Guys, now it's a cold place. Personally, and I'm sorry, now it's a cold place in Mamelodi Sundowns. It's not a family anymore. It's work. You're not going to get notes from Rulani. Ukad also is under pressure. Fleming is showing you guys, Guti, he's very getting ruthless. Now, what does that do to players? What type of voice does Ronwen have in the team right now? Now about Tebza, there were things happening. So the truth of the matter is that you're going to see some of these things. And it doesn't mean that Sundowns is going to fall off a cliff. It doesn't mean that, guys, Sundowns is number 1 in the league. They've qualified for the knockouts. They were in a final, a Carling knockout final. Fine, they lost it, but they were in a Carling knockout final. It's not doom and gloom. But I think Sundowns is moving into a place where there's going to be a lot of things that we're not used to. You know what made me really happy? Izolo. And I know it's going to sound bad, but to see lasers, they loved us. I was like, good. Stop playing friendly. Now, does that fix the problems? I don't know. For me, I don't know. I think Mamelodi Sundowns' problem was just the last 20 minutes of games of consequence. They tend to be nervous. They tend to be the ones that make a mistake. They tend to be the ones that are jittery. If there's one thing he showed you in cup games, is that he can stay focused and stay with the balls to say, no, I'm not going to shake first. That's the scary part about Pirates going into the CAF knockouts. Mara then, his Sundowns just needed to get that. How nervous did Rulani look in the last parts of really important games? How many mistakes were made there? So that's for me what I'm seeing. But very interesting. Let's see how it pans out, guys. There's 6 people that I'm going to let in now, and maybe after that we'll bring in some others, guys. At this point of the show, it's not tied to any of the topics, so you can come in and touch on whichever one you want to touch on, and we can go from there. So I'm going to give everybody 2 minutes, a minute or two, to tell me where they're standing, because we're winding down the show for 9 o'clock. Benny Siso, welcome to the show. How are you? Hey, guys, can you hear me?
Good evening, man. How are you?
Hi, man. Mina ngimnandi. Mina, like I told you guys, indaba zami don't have passports. But tell me,
Yeah. No.
which topic do you want to touch on? I'll give you a minute.
I've got quite few, but let me just greet the panel. Good evening to the panel. Then from there, I will start with Mamelodi Sundowns, then touch on Pirates, then also go to the AFL, because I still have, the media is very mum with the AFL. Let me start about the Sundowns here.
Yeah.
You know, my boys, the problem is that when you look at the Sundowns that won the CAF Champions League, they had a brave leader. Bravery is very important. Because what happened yesterday at Loftus, I'm a Pirates fan, but what happened yesterday, it's a sign of a fearful leader.
Okay.
How can you go to the war, then you tell your troop to retrieve when the fight gets heated? That one is a signal, because you're now giving your opponents a chance to know that when the pressure start to cook or start to go up, you are going to break down. Think about it. If you are in a knockout stage, then you retreat that way. And you want to play like the North Africans. You cannot go to England and want to play like an English team. Play to your strength. Look at what Rivero did. Rivero waited for Ahly to make a move. He didn't resort to defending, but he said, I'm going to go pound to pound with them, regardless of how many minutes we have in the board. I am going to go pound to pound to them. He introduced the Ukabelo and Raseboja. Then they took Ahly out. So you look at what Cardoso did yesterday. For me, it's a sign of a fearful coach. I'm not sure, I might be conflicted in this situation, but I feel like Sundowns, they don't trust themselves. And remember, it takes time to turn the mentality of the players. Now you have taught them to resort back to this tactic. Then you get to the semifinals or you get to the quarterfinals. You play first at home, then you go away. Are you going to sit back? Because you are scared to make mistakes. That's how I am conflicted. Can I push because back? Of time,
can I just push back?
What is happening with the AFL? Why did it play once? Was it a money laundering scheme, or what was happening with the AFL? Then I will leave it to the panel.
Before you go there, before you go, I want to ask you. You said now about going to play England. Do you want to play like them? But if your style has not been working for a very long time, 8 to 10 years, Do you blame Sundowns for saying maybe we should try something different? Hey, I think there's a delay. For time's sake, I'll put it to the comments. Guys, I told you about the AFL a long time ago. I told you guys from when it started. But anyway, come on.
Yeah, bravo, who are you?
Not my mates, but we listen and we don't judge.
Oh, nice judge. Pilafela every day, all the time. Yo, I pakela ka soweto. Yo.
Ke go fa 2 minutes. O kena ko efeng kumo?
Ay, man, ke go re go iso ke sharp. Go re motho o jela Ahly B team o tlo re fa advice e senteng. And now go, you can't say you beat Ahly if our girl is a treatment. Hosa grass smoke screen treatment our girl Ahly ba le bone fela. O ka re le bana ba le fanyana position number 1. E re ke lo botseng re na di former CAF Champions winners ka the new trophy. Re boletse ra a re fendi amateurs di number 1 positions cause re na re nya go avoidana. Wa ntlhalohanya ke?
Yeah.
And Joe, e blatant because o bona kwele ka 85 inches no ba kora. I was there. Sundowns negala 6 minutes it tore the ball in their own half. Wa bon. Remember how another point there, but this thing came from the set goal. Harry Bero, he sanzire counter attack, more na getting a ready the run gantlela. Na pasa gomora, a slower play. He toraki Ronwen Williams say, I play in Nestara because why? Nerinya kayona vela draw. Wait, Nari hands, and the other thing happy as you were happy. Pitso Mosimane are in 2 empirical area beautiful football. Obargemam, Rulani atla, we need to be tighter, we need to be strong at the back. Mangoba atla, are we gonna take what Rulani has built on in terms of like being strong and not conceding? Man, let's attack more. Because Rai Zurvira Halanko CAF, but to back in the Gala CAF Champions League area second tier, still like they think they've got experience at cafe. What, but like yo, now the conversation nkan na le Chiefs like ravulela ka yon cause ba yizu ruira halanya ka cafe e sengele ya CCL kyon CCC triple C kyon ele ya second tier. Oh, disappointed ka Sundowns so le Sundowns so emanyana guys emanyana bolela nga Soweto and the worst part my brother re na ma Sundowns so re kalhantse play ya rena obviously it's gonna be a rogue element ya defense ding mara batho ba entitled to beautiful football ka Sundowns mara ba gala mikolo ya bona ka bo ambongile Tom ra dimala why but anyway can you talk about the composure ya
Very quickly
man na the boy star jo uzi ka mkhona mashela defense la ka teng o ka se rekele 2000 which like he's told go ka bona future captain in that boy le mkhulise first half star so kona fa gizba muritse ka mokho mongwe sone mara le ke le botseng ka maperete shem na hana o ya Ahly umputsisi after match batho ba le ba ko Morocco ba bethile base o mona yo go te kwaetsa no lo ene di bo wata go ntwena go stadium bara mara tla bolela ke tla botsa pile everything sharp
allegedly. Thank you. Excited. I don't want to say anything anymore. When I hear something that might get me into trouble, please.
Allegedly.
Oh, I didn't get it some top. Let me go to Mtosh.
Mr. OC.
Hey, today. Hey, Mtosh.
Hey, it's been a while, Mr. OC. Fede?
Gimland 3 points on me. I crossed my border. Mtosh. Ufurugena kuyipi?
As a Sundowns supporter, angifuna ukulungisa country, Mr. OT, net kancane.
Yeah.
I have a problem ngama-supporter wethu, Mr. OT. With the previous coach, they were complaining about we're no longer playing our football, it's no longer our style of play, it's fana nokuthi sesihlala route 1, sesiyenzani. The one thing I can comment with Coach Miguel Mai is his style of football says
is the best. Coach Rulani once said, the more you keep the ball, the less chances also niga opponent. That's what we're doing. Bongapega, how many shots at goal? Let's see, maybe now is all.
They had 7 and only 1 on target.
How many? 1 on target.
Yeah,
We
7
kept the
7
ball
in
so
total.
clean, Uguti. Yeah. Siniga ama opponent less chances. So mina ngazi labantu ba complain ngani. But going forward, mina izinkinga engizibonayo is we can't play with 2 number 9s because the side like a left, there's no one because Ulunga gives us like nothing going forward. There's no crosses, there's no what. So rather sacrifice one between Ushalulile and Reinas. Then ufaga someone like on Matthews, like a yabo uba nomfana lo moon. Also sniga something on the left hand side. But yeah, Nyaguva Oti, the last 20 minutes, it's where Sluzama game, Mr. Oti, Nyaguva la pole point yako. Auna manga, that's true. Emuva sometimes slow piece, njan. But I'm happy, Mr. Oti, qualifyile. Ngiyayiva la kuma comments but basiniki pirates. Ngiva bona ngilalele bona, so mina any team is fine with me, but mele silungise lapho nalapho, Mr. Oti.
Okay. No, for time. Let me begin Black Viper. Hey, yeah. We listen and we don't judge. If I can say what I'll get a fake.
Na kya jaja, and I can jaja delete at the same time. Let me just be as quick as possible. Like conversion rate, goals conceded, games played. Delete rate imitse. Di a bolela velo gae. Hona la na le future. Hona la to struggle. Hona le atol at the end of everything. Wa bona re ya ho June July.
Yeah.
Hona la atlo thaba. Hona la to re ke la ka winner something. Hona la atol la dikeledi di rote di tlale betsi lefatsheng. So I'm thinking gore judging on your reaction, you know re ntwe tse di le itira ke dibu. Ke manga to di tola. Now, re go break it. Sundowns enal goal tse paya. And they consider less.
Yeah.
Pirates, they are good at scoring. Goal tse paya. Almost equivalent to Sundowns, but by its problem ko ba consider. Ke problem ya bona. Chiefs, they're conceding left and right. They are not winning games. They're not consistently winning games. Yeah, like problem at this time of the season now, it's too late for them to pick up now because now Habasoka ba breaker that threshold ya hore re tla winner 3 games in a row. So now ke di jaja di le 3. Sundowns it will be the only team at the end of the season. Pirates will just no, we won something this season, whether be the league or a Nedbank Cup, batla bona na ba winner fee.
Okay.
Chiefs, baso hlale bakhala. Dintwa di loke for bona. So that's it for me.
Are khali visa ya hana retuletse ko hae, please. Let me go to are khali. Let me go to Glenn.
OT.
What's going on, Glenn?
Can demands pila we are avoiding each other, But avoid pila from each other. But set the game me anu. Set the game me anu ma beto way. One way. Ya hubi ma godi mu kwa na Chiefs ke ratela hona mo hae mo.
Yeah.
OT pila wait into retrospect pila Sundowns to yawa man. Let us be honest to ourselves. Sundowns to yawa. One good to see. No, issue gore. I've seen Chiefs. They were the very same way Sundowns wangate. There was a time Steve Company Chiefs we were speaking this very same language. We dominate the ball, we dominate the chances, but there are no goals. That's a sign. That's a sign of a team in the A1. And we must be honest to these guys. We've seen this before, and it's happening. It's happening. It is here. Why you put a pasta Borella? It's happening. It is here. If you kill a clorco joaleji, if you kill a clorco joaleji, Fleming back Mom 17 that. Fleming back Mom 17 that I say even we are family, we are one big family in whatever and that, when rulani, whatever and that.
Yeah.
About the way and that.
Jole, ba etseng hore ba skaya, ba ipone ba le Chiefs.
O ba ska ba ipone le Chiefs.
Ba tlo gona go etswa e santsane tshwarega right there.
I get flop again. Flop go Sundowns to this thing or Fleming Bego da, and then he's running a South African team as if he's running a European powerhouse. One good piece. Yes, we understand. Yes, we understand the dreams and aspirations of Sundowns is to become a powerhouse more Africa. But then there are certain things, there are certain cultures that you must never take away from a team. One good piece. The likes of Mambush Mudawe and them had this culture, the Shushan and piano guys. Yes, it's a Shushan and piano, but there's one thing elungri prevalent. Ke lerato la di player towards each other, lerato la di player towards coach. If you hear this players ba bolela ka delay ba re ke manta to fetsa tlhogofala. Skrima chabala. You could hear and you could sense there was a sense of family. Hoka hopola pila 2016. The Sundowns a winning CAF Champions League. There was a sense of family. If you look at how Pitso Mosimane had a relationship with Pesitao, was that of a father and son. If you look at Rulani and them both man, there was a sense of family. If you look at Mango Mfano Letlago and them, there was a sense of a family. But then here is a coach Pep Guardiola. Pep Guardiola he's called as what man is just called to these players. He's expecting results and whatsoever. And then he will get the results, yes, but then moral was down to wow, and then with it is going Shushan and piano.
Okay. For time's sake, I cannot let me let Tamos come in. Tamos, can you close it for me? Welcome.
Feli hot malaga.
Ay, manake monate man Tamos. Akille ka smile nje. Tamos, o kana efe?
Ke kena le 3 wa bona. Mara ba tlola ka ya rona e golden black. Vale ba on and off, man. And then I serve a twice, man. What's about no Chiefs like win and that's a celebration. And I see that you want to hot malaka anyway with a look. I want to see. Maybe I got something in November, February, so.
Okay.
Yeah, I got one year away. I got something I got celebrate. I sang a net and came out la very team looking up perform South Africa. Yeah.
How can I go Pirates?
Can I go baba perform? Yeah, can I go baba perform? Jealous town bona I batala. I got to a mark. Ntoza bone la kopana mara 9 to club ajuta nyona go tlamela ba careful. Ba Pitori ba masepa ka fihla ndaong ba thube. Ba le bathuwa ba la go tlolela maka. Wa bona ba countile jwa ba countile ba le ka 3 point. Ba tlo makala se ba le ka ma 12 point. Ba tlo ipotsa re jwa.
Okay.
Ke tshela hot malaka ba le bathu tsona tsa bona tsapane ba kopanta taba tsa bona. O tlo bona wena. E tlo re a so setse fela e mante go liki fela. Ke motlo bona nteng reality ya khika a ba tlo re yo ba nkile MTN fela nako e se se ka fela mara le ba perform ba bona ira ile re di call le ba pola tiki me la re di call le ba dlala jwang it tlo ba the very same thing le ona seasoning ya bona ba dlala kana mona mare ba bua too much tlamele ba relax
ke re go Sundowns fast ke a kwala
malaka wa tseba ya ba wa tseba wa etsa lang sampane ba ipatla man ba so ithule bona una le something yana inyane ba confuse wa bona
Yeah, this why no but I need Ntone Adams in it. But I don't think about almost Spanish only because of I think Adams was the same position in Limkui. Waban. Silly fella, no fella either a fella holding midfielder carrying Kione a chisang no more PSL. What's it? I play chisang PSL by Bataka.
Okay.
Wang Joel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am not stressed anyways. Bye.
No,
Yeah.
for nako. It's a topic. I think Osane, we're gonna have conversations about this because I think there's some juicy parts of the conversation that we should have had here, guys. It is 9 o'clock. The show is Monday to Thursday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. For those who are here for the first time, please follow. If you have not followed, if you want to watch anything back and you want to hear what was said, we started with Chiefs today. If you want to hear what was said on YouTube, the Overthinking Football Show. Everything is there in full. And if you want my thoughts, my reactions from this weekend, I put out a proper analysis video today. Please check out my YouTube channel. And also, man, follow on the TikToks, share on the TikToks, do all of those things, man. Your support is everything to me. So please support. There's not many places where we can do this. You can't do this with Thomas. You can't do this with Supersport. You can't do this with SABT Sports. This is the place where we can meet as fans and speak to each other. But I need your help to keep this thing going, sharing, contributing, all of those things that everybody has been doing so incredibly up to this point. Guys, I'll see you then tomorrow at 7 p.m. Also, the TTB show is starting. So search TTB show at TTB show and you'll be able to watch the Lindo Pep has his show starting right now. So if you still feel like, man, go on over there, guys. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. Support on, guys. Bye, everyone. YouTube, thank you guys as well for being with me as well.